let's do it. Hey, Calvin, I see you. Yes, sir.
You walk over the
Getting out of your car. Usually starts with this meeting house.
Okay, I have 10 o'clock. I'll call the Harrison County Commission meeting for Wednesday, January 26th. If you will join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item on the agenda is public comment. Do you have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, Mr. Parker is signed up to speak today.
Okay. Would you identify yourself and tell us where you're from, please?
Name is William Andrew Parker, and from Upshur County, West Virginia.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'd asked for an appointment, but evidently that didn't happen for whatever reason. I sent 2 emails and 1 phone call, but neither here nor there. But just so you know, there's an article, I don't know if the commission has looked at that, but the title is Open Records Experts, Harrison County FOIA fees are excessive. And there's a Pat McGinley, WD professor of law, that's quoted, as well as Laura Stark, the legal director for the ACLU of West Virginia. I'd recommend the commission review that article whenever you had a chance. But the FOIA request that I made, I've received some responses, and that's why my appointment was going to be about today. So I'll just put the information out there that I was going to, not expecting any feedback since it's just a public comment period. But one of the requests that I put forth concerned rail trail property, county employees working on rail trail property in a west direction towards Wolf Summit. And I received no documents or documentation, so evidently that was not approved by the commission at any meeting. So therefore, you've had public employees that are trespassing and doing property damage to private property. I don't know who's on whose authority that was transpired. So that could be seen, possibly, the misappropriation of funds. There needs to be reimbursement to the county for the time and materials. There needs to be an investigation to see who approved that. And if it was an employee, there needs to be disciplinary action up to including termination of employment. Especially if you're looking at property damages when you fired a previous employee supposedly for property damage, one of the allegations. Another FOIA request I had dealt with picking up a part-time employee from a local high school, providing transportation. Again, I received no documents, so I'm assuming it was not approved by the commission since I received no documents or minutes or anything that authorized that. Again, the question is who authorized that and why? Again, it could be seen as misappropriation of funds, unauthorized expenditures. The employee that received that benefit should have been charged taxable fringe benefit. Is that going to be corrected, or who's going to make up that shortfall? Again, there needs to be an investigation, disciplinary action up to including termination of employment. The others that I've received responses for dealt with a contract for Mr. Randy Spellman. Evidently, there's no contract in place, and expenditures have been made. Previously, your legal counsel had advised me if there's not a contract in place, there shouldn't be expenditures made for an invoice that you received back in July of this past year. Another small point, on a FOIA request, you need to be careful to read the details. One of the requests I had was invoices paid to some law offices and pending invoices. I received a printout of what was paid, did not receive anything of pending invoices, but in fact, there were some out there. So those are the responses that I've had questions on so far. I do see you have an item 13 on your agenda. Review, discuss, consider personnel issues raised in William A. Parker FOIA campaign, then present potential executive session. Yeah, that could be construed as negative. Mr. Parker's not having a campaign, a FOIA campaign. I've made some requests, valid requests. A campaign, according to the definition that I pulled up, is an organized course of action to achieve a goal. So I do not appreciate that wording in your agenda. Do not appreciate not being afforded the opportunity for an appointment to discuss these matters in more detail when I sent 2 emails and made 1 phone call. I did not know that's how the Harrison County Commission now operates. Thank you.
You're the only one signed up.
Yes, Commissioner.
Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to number 2, consent agenda. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices A and B.
Motion approved, A and B, please.
Motion's been made to approve A and B. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meeting, A and B. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, A and B.
Motion to approve A and B under number 4. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices. A, vendor requisition list of payments. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved.
Motion's been made to approve number 5A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Exoneration, it looks like we have exonerations and joint owned motor vehicles. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So approved A and C. Motion approved A and C.
Okay, motion's been made to approve number 6A and C. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Appears that there is nothing under number 7.
That is correct.
Okay. Move on to number 8. Consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration building project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission. There are 2, A and B. What's the pleasure?
Motion for A and B for Sterling Associates.
Motion has been made to approve A and B under number 8 for Silling and Associates. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Number 9, review, discuss, consider monthly minutes, financial information from various boards, committees, and public service districts, A through C. They're all Greater Harrison. What's the pleasure?
Motion for A through C.
Motion to approve 9, A through C. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None, motion carried. Number 10, review, discuss, consider Harrison County, West Virginia Commission FOIA policy, which is Freedom of Information Act.
Correct. This is just the policy. You approved the rates last week.
Madam President,
Yes,
I know I approved the rates last week, and I would like to bring it back up for a vote because I would like to amend this. We charge nothing for FOIAs.
I don't know that that's, this is for the FOIA policy. It's not for the fees, correct? Fees were taken care of last week,
For the whole thing.
and it's already been voted on.
Correct.
What's the pleasure for number 10?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve
I'd like
number
to
10.
Discuss it further.
Well, we get the motion and then I can
Yeah.
ask for discussion, please. Okay, the motion's been made to approve number 10. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to reference the letter from Article News and Journal who questions our whole reasoning behind the FOIA and what we're charging in these rates. And that we're charging more than the actual cost of reproduction to provide a basis for litigation. And to the ACLU and the professor at WVU, I think that we're in violation potentially of West Virginia code. And I think before we do this, I don't think there's been enough research done. I haven't seen where we actually pass muster on the West Virginia code 29B-1-3E. And when I read that our county administrator cannot answer the question on how she developed the fees to myself or this commission or to these people that asked that question, I think we have a serious issue that we should be at least afforded on how she came about, other than just copying what somebody else, not sitting down and looking at what was actually the cost for this organization to do the work. I really don't care what it costs Bridgeport. I don't care what it costs WVU. I want to know what it costs this county. And that's required and was never done. And I don't think it's something that we should be passing today till we get that information.
So we've had discussions about the FOIA policy, correct?
We've had a number of discussions. I understand the commissioner's objection, and what I would do is make the objection part of the record as the commissioner requested, and then take the vote. I certainly have to agree to disagree with Mr. McGinley. I'm familiar with Mr. McGinley and what he does at the College of Law. I just do not agree with his analysis in this context. Further, to have a FOIA claim, someone has to have standing to have a claim. And certainly no one is presenting a valid challenge at this point in time. There's also a fee waiver request set forth within the FOIA policy to attempt to accommodate those people who are unable to pay for a responsive FOIA production. And that is vested in the county administrator on a case-by-case basis. I think the FOIA policy does comport with West Virginia law. It also comports with the FOIA policies for many of the leading municipalities and universities in the state of West Virginia, including West Virginia University. So those are my comments on the policy.
Mr. Attorney, is Mr. McKinley the same person that was here telling us that we couldn't use the courthouse as collateral for our bonds?
I'm not familiar one way or the other with that
Okay.
issue that predated my time, and I have no knowledge of
Okay,
that.
I didn't know if it was the same deputy attorney.
And it's still my question, and neither one of you answered it. I have yet to see what the cost is to the commission to make a copy. And that is what they're saying. And it's saying that state statute, you can't charge an unreasonable fee. And we have not sat down and nobody in this room has told me what it costs to make a copy. You guys have told me what it costs, what other people want to charge, but evidently we're too damn lazy to do our own cost analysis on what it costs to do something in this courthouse. Because it says the state legislature makes it clear only a reasonable fee. You haven't proved to me it's a reasonable fee. And then I noticed that Laura went on to say that there was issues that potentially at 911, maybe 911, we should talk about how they get their FOIAs and how they've just put it up for anybody just to go online and look at it, and they hardly do any work for it. So 911 really isn't an issue. So I don't know why we've taken this on all of a sudden. I don't know where the worry is with FOIAs, but it seems to be something that this commission all of a sudden is either petrified or trying to make a hard decision. And I don't understand why we even have to have any of this. We survived all these years without it, and now we want to make it as hard as possible and to make it a cost to somebody.
Okay, all in favor of motion presented, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
So note the opposition, motion carried. Number 11, review, discuss, consider approval of dates for Board of Review and Equalization. Tentative dates for Board of Review and Equalization are listed on the agenda. I'm okay with those dates.
Those are the tentative dates. I also gave you a copy of the section where it lays out how many days can go in between hearings, not more, cannot exceed 3 business days and everything like that. When they can start, when they can stop, and this is the tentative schedule with your approval.
It's a pleasure.
Motion if approved.
Motion to approve, number 11. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
No.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 12, review, discuss, consider request to reappoint existing members Thomas Michael, Ruth Ann Messenger, and Edgar Van Horn to Greater Harrison County PSD Board.
Motion approved as read.
Okay. Motion to approve as read. Any discussion?
they submitted the proper paperwork.
Yes.
You supplied a copy of that paperwork before we vote.
It is in the agenda packet. Would you like to read the letter?
Sure. See where they filled out to apply for it. But
This is just a continuation, correct? They're already on the board. Is
They
that
are already on board.
I think there's more paperwork that needs to be filled out, so that's all right. Doesn't tell me anything about
okay? Motion's been made to approve number 12. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. Number 13, review, discuss, consider personnel issues raised in William A. Parker FOIA campaign, potential executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 69A4B2. Matters arising from the appointment, employment, retirement, promotion, transfer, demotion, disciplining, resignation, discharge, dismissal, or compensation of a public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee. It's a pleasure. I don't know what this is about, but really, nobody else put this on here, so.
Excuse me, I'm not sure I heard what you said.
I said, I'm not sure what this is about. Somebody else put this on the agenda.
You didn't read the FOIA request?
I didn't see all the FOIA requests, I don't believe. But what's the
Didn't?
pleasure with number 13?
Well, no, I'm.
No, we're not discussing anything. There's been no motion made.
I'm moving down to executive session.
Okay, motion's been made to go into executive session. All in favor, any discussion?
Can we just specify the reason why is the reason
That's
stated in item number 13? There.
Discuss some misappropriation of county funds.
That's not on the.
The
that's
reason we're
not-
going into executive session is the reason stated under 6984B2 is what I was trying to clarify. It's what's stated in the agenda, just so the record's clear.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Guess we're going into executive session. Sorry, Norm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The only decisions that were made in executive session.
Whoa.
No, I can.
As a body, the commission can waive executive session. You do not have the right to individually come out here and talk about what was said in executive session, sir.
Okay.
If you want to make a motion to waive executive session, pardon me?
What are you gonna do to me if I do it? What are you gonna do? Put me in jail? Take my job away? What? Why don't you just sit down? Because that's all you're good for today right now. Sit down.
You know this is inappropriate. You're
Oh,
making a
but-
bad, you're making a
But I
bad
think it's
decision.
inappropriate what the four you just did in there.
We're not going to talk about what happened in executive session.
Oh,
If
it
you
will be.
want to make the decision to come out here and talk about matters which are discussed in executive session against the advice of counsel, there will be repercussions.
This gentleman down here has done it several times. What repercussions were to him?
When? Identify.
When he came out and announced all the people that we were going to interview and said where they work. Nobody said anything about it then, didn't care. It's all on the record. Asked the lady behind you that reported it. He came right out and just blurted it and told this one, hey, it's your lucky day. You're on the short list. Right after an executive session.
Was I here for that? I don't believe I was.
You
'cause
were because you
I don't-
got hired.
I was not here for that meeting. I would have said the exact same thing, which I just said to
You tell
you.
these two not to do stuff all the time and they still do it, so why is it a difference for me?
My job is to advise
Thank you
your
for
body.
advice.
Advise your
I
body.
can do what I want.
I have
That's what
indicated
they
to
do.
you clearly
Give it to
as
me,
I
sir.
can be, that what you're doing is wrong, and as a body, you have to elect to waive executive session privilege. I'm just giving you the disclaimer. You're welcome to make a personal decision. I would suggest maybe you consult with a lawyer who you feel would represent you if you do not feel I'm giving you adequate advice. Certainly proceed as you see fit.
There's no action to be taken on number 13. So we will move to number 14. Review, discuss, consider going out to bid for legal services or hire in-house counsel.
I should continue on with Mr. Simmons one more year.
Okay, motion's been made to continue on with Mr. Zimmerman for one more year. Any discussion?
But yes, you can't do that without going out for bid due to the cost of the 5G process. If Mr. Zimmerman wants to say no to that one, that should be good too, because he knows he and I have talked that it needs to go back out for bid.
candidly, I have told Commissioner Hinkle that given the amount of money you all are spending, and what I told you at the beginning when I started, I would do as little or as much as you all want. That's still my opinion. I think a best practice in the government is to frequently bid out work because it ensures you're bringing value for the service that you're paying for. No problem with that at all. It's entirely at your all's discretion, whether you want to bid it out, hire somebody in-house, work with the prosecuting attorney. It's entirely up to you all as a body. My contract is up for annual review. We build that into public contracts, so the county commission, for example, makes sure it's getting value for the public money that it is spending. So I would suggest you all review the contract, review the services, and then make a decision about a path you all want to employ in the future. So it's entirely up to you all. I've always told that to all three commissioners. There are no hurt feelings one way or the other.
Madam President, motion to continue with trade zone as our attorney for one word.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No,
Note the opposition.
just like to note that, this commission has never had a full-time attorney and have paid over $100,000 because we have two commissioners.
Okay, we're gonna
aren't
move on to
capable of doing the
16.
job.
Going on to 16. Administrator's report. Laura, you have anything you'd like to?
Number 15, we didn't touch on.
Oh, I'm sorry, number 15, review, discuss financial reports since beginning of fiscal year.
Everyone has been emailed a copy and there's a printed copy on your station this morning.
What's the pleasure with number 15?
I'd like to hear the report from our Laura. That's what she was asked to do, come in here and give a report and explain it all. Have somebody here to explain it.
Or were you asked just to present the
That's
financial
not
report?
what was said.
Okay. Can you let me ask the question?
My understanding was to have the financial documents here for this meeting. That was my
And
understanding.
to have somebody here to go over them and explain it.
I do not recall that portion of it.
Well, can we get the recordings out? Because that's what was said. What's the point of it if we're not gonna go have you go over and tell us where we're at?
I thought you
And if
wanted,
this is part of what you want to say, the other, this is your failure to do your job. I want a report and I want to hear from you what this says.
Okay, what's your pleasure with number 15? I don't know that there's any
You don't think there's any issues
action.
in
I
there?
don't think there's any action to be taken with number 15.
In this.
If
in
you want
this
her to
6
come back
months?
with a report, I'm sure she will come back with her report next
Well,
week.
let's go through them, Susan. Jail per diem. Anybody want to talk about it? Community Improvement Fund? Where we're running over on all these items? When are we going to make adjustments? Isn't that our job, is to look at these financials and tell her what we need to do?
Those adjustments are being made, are they, Laura?
I'm sorry.
Those adjustments aren't being made, I was told.
On what? Where are we moving the money from?
There are some line items that might show in the negative where money has been taken out of the wrong line item. So we are crediting back that line item account. For example, we are working on any corrections that do need to be made. Since we are coming through every single document and piece of information, working on the budget, it will be due in March.
So when I look at, let's just start page 1, general fund. Rents on commission, we're already over 206%. Why?
It was taken out of the wrong line item.
What's wrong line item?
It was taken out of
That's the
rents.
wrong item. That's the wrong line it was taken out of.
So where should it have been?
He's working on that.
she's working on.
Yeah, she's working on it, doing her job.
Those reports Erica has pulled for me and is gathering them constantly for me to see where exactly what expenditure came out of that line item. Was it correct or where it needed to come from? We are trying to come through this and make sure that it is proper.
So all these overages are mistakes. It's been 107%. And the sheriff's on new equipment for computers.
In the, we're talking about the sheriff's budget.
Well, I'm just going down, I mean, I'm just going down through, I just see all the
We don't have
overages.
any,
I don't
so
need,
he'll move money to take care of that in his budget at the proper time.
Does he have it?
you don't have to move it from one
I
of his
haven't had
other
a chance to
lines.
look at all these yet. I know, I'm not doing my job either.
I'll tell you what. You guys figure out when you want to know if the county can afford something.
I could have told you that 2 years ago.
Well, we used to go over this stuff, see, before
Yeah, I
you
don't-
came on.
No, I don't believe you did.
Oh,
I was
I'm
here at
sorry.
every meeting,
Were you? Doing what?
twiddling my thumbs.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Move this to the next session. Maybe people will read it and want to talk about how much money we don't have or we do have. Because there's commissioners saying that don't have money to help other entities, but we seem to have about $20 million floating around.
okay. Anything else, Laura?
Not on the financials. Would you like my administrative?
Oh, that's right, we're
report?
still on financials, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I was already jumping ahead again.
That's okay. Administrators report, I'd like to give a special thanks to John Spires and the whole county clerk department, as well as the maintenance and every other department that jumped in to help the levy election on Saturday. I was trying to assist with that. I got to see a process that he goes through, whether it's from the training or whatever, and it went very smooth. I appreciate your support, especially on a Saturday election. You guys were amazing. Thank you. We will have canvassing this Friday at 10 a.m. for the levy election, which also is for the transit and the vital services. Still waiting on quotes for the generator for the annex side. Still waiting on the elevator to get repaired. They're here again today working on it. Most importantly, at budget time, I'll be sending out a schedule the next few days to line out budget meetings, dates, as well as a timeline. Everything has to be approved and sent to the state. And the furniture, fixtures, and equipment bid package for the GSA building is being put together. Hopefully it'll go out this week, and we'll also have it posted on our website.
Commissioner's comments. Mr. Treecost.
Yeah, no, I actually want to tell you what a great job. I was just happy how things went Saturday, obviously. I hear you had one casualty, one person slipped, but they're okay. But congratulations on your first election and wonderful job. Madam President, and if I may, Laura, I have a few agenda items for next week. Review, discuss, consider allocating $800,000 of the $983,690 of ARP reimbursement fund to the North Rail Trail and the North Friend Connect project, please. Also, review, discuss, consider allocating, moving the $780,000 of the Shinston-Salem Rail Trail project due to the project coming in under budget to the North Rail Trail / North Bend Connector project. 3, review, discuss, consider 5G process for a new ice skating rink, pickleball court, and Madam President, we still want to do the animal control facility and the facility for the youth farming development complex, correct?
Yes, sir.
And partial, and do that with the partials owned by the commission as well as the other affiliates, okay? 4, review, discuss, consider reappointment to a 3-member person committee for development requests for proposals related to the 5G process associated with the ice skating rink, pickleball court, animal control, and the youth farm development complex. And then 5 for agenda item next week, review, discuss, consider budget revision, moving 001-401-45700 20,000 building capital, and also 001-424-45700 capital outlay, $25,000 to add to the 34,700 for 001-424-45900 for the purchase of a dual wheel pickup truck as well as a spreader, please. And then the only thing I wanted to ask you is if you could get with our honorable sheriff and see if people that aren't on the security that aren't working anymore, see if like we hired a new part-time person today, if we can get some equipment back for people that haven't been on or paid in over 6 months. Because we have a list and some people choose not to work at all. So if we could make sure, which we love to have them, but if they're not going to work, let's get that equipment back so we can dish it out to other people that come on. Try to save money with that part, but just have the conversation with the honorable sheriff. And that's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
I don't have anything.
So agenda items to move $4 million out of the American Rescue Plan Act over for industrial development. 500,000 out of the whole severance for industrial development. $1 million out of the financial stabilization for industrial development. Complete discussion on the vital service levy balances and how much the county owes Parks and Rec back to pay back vital service levies. And $1 million out of OPED for commercial development in Harrison County.
I'm sorry, what was the last one?
OPED,
For,
commercial developments.
I think we're trying to get 35 million for the airport line. That's what we're short right now.
Well, I guess the question is whether an airport with a terminal is more important than a skating rink for the town.
We got it.
That's not,
Hey, it's mine. I get to talk right and say what I want.
okay, go ahead, Pat.
No, I would
Say
like
what you
to-
want to.
No, he's already spoken.
No, yeah, you started to speak.
Look, let's not digress.
I mean, that's
Okay,
just-
well, back to Patsy then. I thought it was my
I mean-
turn to talk.
It's Commissioner Nichols' turn. Let's get his agenda items
Oh,
out.
excuse me.
Let's
Okay.
put them on.
Oh, I thought, yeah.
I would like to discuss the levy that the Harrison County people voted. I'm think it's very interesting that we had such a great turnout. And I want to thank the citizens for really paying attention that allowed my 2 commissioners the ability to get $3.5 million to do whatever they want. As you heard today, skating rinks, pickleball courts, whatever. They have now between $700,000 a year and what they think they can keep taking out of your budget will probably be spending over $1 million to $2 million a year for things of that nature. Not one of those puts a job or puts food on your plate. But they cut your Parks and Rec, they cut your 911, but they got their 700,000. And it only took a couple thousand people out of this whole county for them to pull it off. It was probably the most disappointing turnout for a levy. And the only good thing out of it that I know of is that Charleston is working on a bill to make sure that what they did will never happen again. And that all levies will happen on primary or an election day. There will be no more of these shenanigans. I'm glad that people of Harrison County did pass the levy for the bus, but the rest of it was not by these two people in your all's favor. They'll say afterward that I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, but believe me, when it comes time, when you see the money and how it's spent, you'll see, because see, they still control Parks and Rec. They won't let Parks and Rec control their money. And now they got another 700,000 to do it. So all I can say is they got the dream of a lifetime here. To spend money is how they see fit. As far as your FOIA, I'm totally upset that this commission feels that it has to be a bad guy, which they won't say, in the way of a FOIA. We survived without all this crap for years. And now all of a sudden, we're worried about FOIAs and how FOIAs are asked for. And that's a shame.
Are you done?
No, man.
Oh, you're not done yet?
No.
Okay.
No. Just
Just take
taking a
a break.
breath, yep. Today we were supposed to, and I made a point, and I will bring it back up again, that I asked for the financials for 6 months and for somebody to sit here and go through and explain each item. That seems to be a problem, or always seems to be an issue, finding out about numbers. I asked for information on Monday and I got it this morning. Somehow it's hard to print stuff. And I'm the last one to receive stuff. I have been waiting patiently now for 4 months for information that I requested on an employee, and I've yet to receive it. When I ask for things, there always seems to be not real sure, or it dribbles out when it comes to supplying information. And I'd like to see that corrected. The other thing is on the agenda next week. We went through this once, but I want us to decide and make it legal what type of county government we are. I read an article that our president, Susan Thomas, said that we couldn't have a director. And she fought it. But now that she's become a commissioner, it hasn't been brought back up. So I think it's something that we need to get on the agenda. And I think Susan needs to either put it to bed where we discuss it and the agenda on what form of government we are and get it cleared through Charleston. That's it.
Anything else, Mr. Trico?
No, thank you.
I mean, I could say a whole lot, but I think I'm going to choose not to.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.